and night swallowed all light, leaving only an oppressive inky blackness. A cold mist clung to everything, a damp breath on the skin, seeping into the very marrow. Each step was a plunge into an unknown abyss, the ground unseen, treacherous. The air itself felt like a suffocating shroud, pressing in from all sides. It carried the scent of damp earth and decay, a primal odor that spoke of things long buried. This was not merely darkness, it was an absence, a void that threatened to consume. A profound silence reigned, yet it was not empty. It hummed with an unseen energy, a low, persistent thrum that vibrated in the bones. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, became an amplified assault on the nerves, a prelude to something terrible. The forest was a labyrinth of gnarled forms, their branches reaching like skeletal fingers. They clawed at the sky, a twisted, menacing silhouette against the faint, bloody glow of a hidden moon. There was no comfort here, only an ancient, brooding malevolence. A chill, deeper than the night air, began to creep. It was the unmistakable sensation of being watched, a prickling awareness that raised the hairs on the neck. Eyes, unseen and unblinking, pierced the veil of mist. Shapes coalesced at the edge of perception, not quite solid, not quite shadow. They shifted just beyond the reach of sight, a presence more felt than seen. The forest itself seemed to breathe, a slow, deliberate inhale and exhale of dread. The silence stretched, taut and unbearable, then broke. A whisper, faint and insidious, drifted through the trees. It was not a human sound, but something ancient, guttural, a language of pure malice that burrowed into the mind. It spoke of hunger, of endless waiting, of a patience that transcended time. The words were not understood, yet their meaning was chillingly clear. They promised an end, a slow, agonizing dissolution into the very fabric of the night. A desperate hand fumbled for the only solace, a small, trembling beam of light. It cut a fragile path through the oppressive gloom, a defiant flicker against the encroaching darkness, but its reach was pitifully short. The beam danced, a frantic, erratic pulse, illuminating fleeting fragments of the nightmare. Twisted roots, slick with moisture, seemed to writhe. The bark of ancient trees appeared to contort into grotesque faces, their hollow eyes fixed. Each drop of moisture on the leaves, magnified by the light, seemed to swell and burst, a tiny, horrifying explosion. The world narrowed to this small, illuminated circle, a temporary reprieve from the vast, hungry blackness beyond. But the light was a beacon, a declaration of presence. It drew the unseen closer, their movements becoming more deliberate, more defined. The air grew heavy, thick with an impending collision, a confrontation that could not be avoided. Every breath became a ragged gasp, a desperate struggle against the tightening chest. The lungs burned, starved for air, yet each inhale felt like drawing in the very essence of fear. The heart hammered, a frantic drum against the ribs. Panic clawed at the throat, a hot, suffocating wave. Thoughts fractured, scattering like shattered glass. The world spun, a dizzying vortex of dread, each moment stretching into an eternity of unbearable suspense. The whispers grew louder, closer, no longer distant echoes, but intimate, chilling pronouncements. They slithered into the ears, wrapping around the mind, promising an inescapable fate. There was no escape from their insidious embrace. The ground beneath felt unstable, shifting as if the earth itself conspired. Every shadow seemed to deepen, to lengthen, to reach out with unseen tendrils. The forest was alive, and it was hunting. The air crackled with an unbearable tension, a static charge of pure terror. The whispers coalesced, forming a chorus of guttural sounds, a symphony of impending doom. There was no more hiding, no more pretense of safety. A sudden, violent lurch. The world exploded into a chaotic blur of motion and sound. The fragile light was ripped away, plunging everything into an absolute, suffocating blackness. The whispers became screams, not of pain, but of triumph. The cold, damp earth pressed against the face, the scent of decay overwhelming. Something heavy, impossibly strong, descended. The struggle was futile, a desperate, flailing attempt against an ancient, unstoppable force. A last sensation was the chilling touch of something not of this world, something that had waited in the shadows for an eternity. The night, the fog, the forest, all converged into a single terrifying embrace, and then only the silence remained.